Okay, so welcome everyone to this special event for Heritage Open Days in 2020. Obviously very different this year, so we are going online. We are not filmmakers, but we do love going into historic buildings. My name's Suzanne and I am being employed at the moment by the Wentworth Woodhouse Preservation Trust to help them with their activity planning for a lottery funding bid that is going to go in hopefully next year. And I'm with David Trevor Smith, and David is a project organiser for the whole of this amazing site. And David, can you just start by saying how long you've been involved in the project?
2 years now, and the focus has been on roof repairs in the house, but now we're starting to look into the longer term master plan, and in particular looking at the stables, the riding school, which is to the rear of the stables, and the Camellia House, and I think that's what we're going to look at.
Yes,
today.
it's going to look at today. It's really exciting actually. I can't wait to go in. Okay, so where are we now, David?
Well, we've just come through the door into the stable block. So this is in the south range of the stable block. We're in the western end of the south range.
Just going to have a look at the seat. Oh.
Yeah, well we have had a few problems, as you can tell. So part of the ceiling has been removed just so that we could investigate a little bit of damage to the roof to make sure that there's no immediate remedial action needed. So now we're in the coach house. At its height, I think the maximum number of horses housed in the stable block was something like 83 horses, which gives you an idea of the scale. And the buildings were converted for use by a ladies' PE college after the Second World War, and these buildings were converted for that use. So, for example, these windows were put in. So originally these would not have been here, but actually they made a fantastic addition.
It's a fantastic space, isn't it?
Yes.
So what's the plan? What's going to happen here?
Yeah, well, we're at that stage, aren't we, of the development phase of the project where we give more thought to exactly what the new use will be for these buildings. But the general idea is that the stables courtyard will be the arrival area for visitors, and therefore the use of these buildings around the courtyard will be part of the visitor welcome. They can also be used to link with the use of the riding school, which we're going to see in a minute. So there could be rooms linked to that, meeting rooms, conference rooms perhaps, or other accommodation.
Fantastic. Oh, it's just going to be amazing. Now, obviously, there was a picture there or something, was there, or some posters or something for the college? Do you think?
This is all part of the college.
Yeah. In the 1960s, it was actually converted into Lady Mabel's College.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. So layers of history. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We're moving through another door. Wow. Oh, goodness.
And this is where
Where to start?
it's a little bit dicey.
Ah, look at those lockers. So that was obviously from Lady Mabel's College days.
Yes.
Wow.
So we're now in a link area. This was a new link built by the college, covering over what was an open courtyard between the stables and the riding school. They covered it over and put in, as you can see, the lockers and toilets.
I love the skylights.
Yeah.
Is the plan to maintain the whole of this part of the building?
No, this will come down. Yeah. So be a little bit careful underfoot.
Oh, look at that, ladies' cloaks. Zoom on that one. Gentlemen's cloaks.
Would you like to go into the gents' cloak room or the ladies' cloak room?
I think we'll go into I'm feeling rebellious. Let's go into the gents.
The gents,
today. Yeah,
okay.
definitely. Are they very similar?
I don't know, I've never been in the ladies.
You haven't been in the
No,
ladies?
no.
Oh, David, go on, be a rebel. So all this stuff that's kind of like dumped here, is that from the, just from when the building was left empty?
Yes. Yes, it's amazing how empty spaces gather
Yeah. Yeah.
bits and pieces. I think the toilets have seen better days.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, my goodness me. Sure have. Ah, do you know what, though? There is something quite beautiful about that flaky paint, isn't it? Don't you think that's really artistic? I've always liked flaky paint. I sometimes think I prefer buildings before they're restored, to be fair. Wow, okay. This is what the men's toilet block looks like. So how long has the building actually been empty?
It would, I think the last time this would have been used would have been in the 1970s.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a good 40 odd years ago. Here we go, entrance to the riding stables, or later used gymnasium, I suppose.
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness, it's a huge space.
It certainly is.
I had no idea that it was so big.
No, it's enormous, isn't it? Well, if you imagine 83 horses,
Yes.
can need a fair bit of space.
And what's the plan for in here then? Obviously it's a huge space. Are we thinking conferences, events?
Yes, I mean, that's almost certainly going to be the use. As I say, we're in the development phase, so we don't want to be too dogmatic about any particular use, but it lends itself ideally to conference space, large events, weddings, large weddings, and as I said earlier, that's why the rooms in the south range of the stable block can then be used as support rooms for uses of this, for large events.
Yeah. Really is a very impressive space. It's gorgeous, the high ceilings are lovely and it's very light, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. This must be an entrance, surely. This is
Yes.
the...
We've actually come halfway. We're now in the centre of the south range. So the door that was in the centre of the south range is that door. And this was not closed in. This was originally, there was an arch and the horses would come through here and into the riding school.
Fantastic. So obviously it looks very different, but it's kind of a nice entrance. So would this would have been, these steps would have been introduced when they turned into the college?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the college did all of this.
And then just to give us an idea of scale, I mean, that is where we came in a bit further down. Remember we saw
Yes.
the lockers?
Yes.
And then what's happening in this side? What does
We've
that...
got the same distance again, but that still has asbestos in it. Yeah, it's sealed off.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we like the fact that there's closed doors there, don't we?
Yes.
We do. If this wall behind me comes down then, all this, will that just increase the size of the actual event space?
Yes, so it creates an outdoor event space. as
So
well.
this will be an outdoor event space?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so David, I'm following you up the stairs.
Okay. So I don't know when this was last used, Suzanne, but I do know that it was at 7 o'clock.
Okay, so we don't know when it was last used, but we know it was at just before 7 o'clock, when time stood still. God, I love that, don't you? You love going to heritage buildings and seeing the exact time the battery ran out on things, or the electricity was turned off.
Yes, so you were asking earlier, what have we done so far?
I did.
Well, here's an example of what we've done so far.
Is it safe? I'm not going to disappear. Okay, I'm just going to stand.
Careful.
I'm just going to stand here and just
Yes.
show everybody what's going on in this room.
Yeah. So because the roof has been leaking for many years, it starts to get rot in the timber structure. So yes, we've temporarily covered the holes in the gutters to stop the rain getting in, and we put props in to support the roof so it doesn't deteriorate any further during the period where we're developing the plans and fundraising. So it could be obviously a year or two before we get to the stage of actually being able to do any repair work proper in here. So we're just giving the building a temporary reprise.
Let's have a quick look at the view while we're here.
Just mind that hole.
Yes, I'm going to I'm going to mine the hole.
So what you see there is the covered over area. That was outdoors originally. The college covered it over to connect the south range of the stables that were in with the riding school.
So that, imagine that gone, and that beautiful outdoor event space.
Yes.
You can just imagine lights, can't you, and laughter and people drinking and dancing. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it's great to be able to reimagine potential in these old spaces and bring it back into use.
You should be an estate agent.
Do you think so?
Well, you can sell the image.
I can sell the image, yeah. Well, I'm kind of excited to see it because it's just really nice being part of the journey sometimes, isn't it? Do you find that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you love about old buildings like this then, David?
It is that being in touch with history, isn't it? And nature.
Sorry, the jittery camera there was because a bird just flew over my head. Right, I think we'll leave the bird to it. Come on. Gosh, it's like a slate graveyard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Incredible. Any idea how many?
They have been counted, but I don't know what the total was. But you can see we've got some enormous slates, far bigger than you would get today.
And they're just there waiting, ready for use.
Yeah,
once the funding is secured.
Yeah.
Look at that. So what will happen to things like this? Obviously they'll be recorded, they'll be documented.
Yes.
Can they be reused anywhere, these kind of bits of history?
Part of the art, what we need to do, of course, is an interpretation plan, which needs to consider all these
That's true.
opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So this part where we're in now, will be another sort of welcome room, welcome area, or is this where potentially there could be some interpretation about the building and its history?
Again, there's nothing being determined really about how this will be used. This is a great space, as you can see. So it lends itself to all sorts of different uses, doesn't it? It could be a small conference room. Well, I say small, it's quite a large conference room. It could be an eating area. Who knows?
Do you know, I think what's really exciting about this kind of development phase that we're in now, we've got an opportunity to talk to people, we've got an opportunity to ask people if they've got any connections to the place. Did they come to college here, just so we can start gathering some stories about the significance of this building, not just in terms of architecture, but also in terms of living memory. It's really, it's a good time. So if you are out there and watching this and you do have a connection, David, do we want to hear from these people?
Absolutely.
You've brought us outside, David. What are we looking at now?
Well, this is the ostler's house. The ostler was a very important person, of course, in the equestrian life of Wentworth Woodhouse. And as you can tell by the house, it's fantastic. And it is part of the project. It's not safe for us to go into at the moment. The same issues that we've seen in the coach house, but not yet being propped. So that's what we are currently about to do, is to, we've just cleared some asbestos from inside to enable access for us to be able to now inspect and prop, and also to stop the rain getting in. Okay, so we're now in the west range of the stable block, in the centre of the west range, and this is where our current project will end, and not that side. So
that's for a few years down the line.
yeah.